In today's pup news, Spin Master had a belated investor call for Q4 2025 today, about as late as they could reasonably have left it. Their Q1 2026 call is next month, but honestly, it was clear why they did it and why it wasn't a bad idea. They had some pretty bad figures to report, but leaving it until now, they could point to the Dino movie being relatively close and mention how well received toys were at the New York Toy Fair. So yes, there wasn't any real headline news to uncover here. Their angle is 2025 was bad, pesky tariffs, but 2026 will be a lot better. So then, let me break down the business side of Paw for you. It's likely no surprise that 2025 was a tough year for Spin Master. As CEO Christina Miller put it,
2025 was a challenging year for our U.S. toy sales, as we navigated a difficult tariff macro environment, and while we achieved many of our goals, our results did not meet our expectations we set at the beginning of the year.
The quarter's net loss was $184.3 million US, dragging the year as a whole down to a $148.5 million loss. This compares unfavorably to the small profit of $81.9 million last year, which in itself was heavily pulled down by the purchase of Melissa and Doug for almost $1 billion. Melissa and Doug was a bit of a white elephant this year too, getting particularly impacted by logistics issues, so bringing it back to growth is one of the company's goals now. But having such a bad year does mean they can offer the narrative of, it's all uphill from here. And while they do talk about some of their good licensing arrangements, making toys for K-pop Demon Hunters and the Mario movie, as well as, Italian brain rot, which it's pretty excruciating to hear being discussed in a business call like this.
The distribution partnership in North America, Australia, and other markets with Italian brain rot, a series of collectible trading cards that have successfully tapped into this wonderfully weird viral trend.
But of course they're leaning most heavily into the boost they'll get from Paw Patrol Movie 3.
We have clear priorities for 2026. The first is capturing the movie moment for Paw Patrol across all creative centers.
When comparing year-over-year results, there was a general decline across the board. And I must say, it's kinda surprising how small a slice of the pie entertainment makes up. Toy sales grossing over $2 billion versus all revenues from the show being around the $150 million mark. But of course, the health of the show drives those toy sales in a substantive way. Spin Master are actually bringing in a similar amount of revenue as their entertainment segment through digital games, which is kinda surprising to me. But yes, Toca Boca brings in a lot of cash, and they're getting ready to launch their new Paw Patrol mobile game.
We'll be completing our new Paw Patrol digital game.
This is presumably the app we've seen launched but not accessible to anyone publicly under the imaginative title Paw Patrol the Game. Though how it will be monetized I do not know. Hopefully not under a subscription model. CFO Jonathan Reuter is certainly optimistic it will be a driver of increased revenue.
Within digital games, we're aiming for modest growth in each quarter, with rates increasing in the second half, partially driven by the launch of our new Paw Patrol digital game and improvements we are making to our platforms.
Difficult though the year has been, the numbers do show that's quite systemic, since Spin Master's dominance has barely dipped. In the preschool and plush segment, which is where Paw can be found, not wheels and action, Spin Master had over a 10% industry share in the quarter, or over 9% for the year. So around 1 in 10 of all toys sold in the US for preschoolers and younger, plus plushes, come from Spin Master, and they rank number 1 of all US companies. So, while their numbers were down this year, they haven't fallen off hard just yet relative to the market. I suspect the good solid toys from Fire Rescue helped keep these numbers high, where Search and Rescue probably helped very little, but that's entirely my speculation. Christmas toys will have helped too, but I'm not sure what we'll see for Q1 2026. Miller further breaks this down in a not especially surprising way.
Paw Patrol was number 1 here.
There are many good things to say about Bluey, but it's not nearly the monster toy shifter Paw is. A plus for Reddit types who think pure unadulterated storytelling and toyetic qualities are anathema to one another, but a definite minus for the business end. There is, of course, a clear and comprehensible focus on Paw Patrol as the primary revenue generator here. Oh, and look, they've actually let Rocky and Zuma show up in this PowerPoint presentation. Albeit with a mirrored Rocky. Yuck. Damn it, Spin Master, you have this exact asset, but not with the spot over the wrong eye. Ah, well. We do get a few more hints at the future of Paw.
In 2026, we have new seasons of Paw Patrol and Rubble and Crew being released on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus and other global channels, with future seasons in development.
Much as people like to make claims, Paw, or especially Rubble and Crew, face imminent cancellation, both are continuing at least for the next several years. While this wasn't anything firm from Spin Master, both Paw Patrol Season 14 and Rubble and Crew Season 5 have been listed as being worked on by staff members on LinkedIn. The show also continues to do well on streaming, now it's escaped being exclusive to Paramount Plus in the US, and has hit an impressive milestone.
We've been reaching new audiences by adding previous seasons and movies on Netflix, which have driven strong engagement. In 2025, hours viewed on Netflix of Paw Patrol increased by 10% to almost 1 billion hours, a testament to the relevance of the brand.
Man, 1 billion hours. Kids watching on repeat go brrrr. Just 6,000 times how much my channel has been viewed, no biggie. We'll get there, chat. I was also pleased to hear much of Spin Master's CapEx, capital expenditure, is going to further develop Paw Patrol. Here's Reuter talking about where the money goes after what they're spending on an expensive IT upgrade.
The remainder is primarily investments in 3 areas. First, new entertainment content, of which 70% is earmarked to continue to expand the Paw Patrol universe.
I opine they should be throwing that money at me to create the best spin-off known to mankind, but that's of course just me. Also, did you notice I fixed Rocky? Paw Patrol continues to be the cornerstone of this company and its lifeblood. They really do need to pay attention to the health of the show, and movie events aren't gonna prop them up forever. As part of the Movie 3 distribution deal, there's gonna be a $20 million lump sum infusion, amortized, but with further revenues to come, plus, of course, the boost to toy sales.
We anticipate year-over-year results in entertainment to be relatively stable in the first half, with growth in the second half following the release of the Paw Patrol movie. This would be a combination of revenues of approximately $20 million, followed by additional distribution revenues thereafter.
So essentially, just as happened in 2023, there's going to be this huge disruptive event to their balance sheet as a new movie briefly changes everything. Then they'll have to spend 2027 explaining to shareholders why revenues have declined again, possibly providing figures that specify how the movie is skewing percentage changes. Alright, that's my video about Spin Master's Q4 2025 investor call. Not sure if next month's Q1 2026 call will be worth a follow-up video, but we'll see. Good job if you kept up with this to the very end, and I will see you guys again next time.